Showtime here at Grand Prix Vancouver 2012. Way more than 800 people turned up. Now Jeremy Schofield and David Stroud are all you have left. David Stroud has lost a game or two of Magic this weekend. There he is, getting ready for the final. His opponent, Jeremy Schofield, has been beaten by nobody.
Literally nobody.
Nobody.
Also, he doesn't even have a draw on his record. It is flawless.
No concedes, no IDs, no draws, intentional or otherwise.
All right, he gives him the fist bump to start it off. I like it.
Let's rock and roll. Marshall Sutcliffe, are we going to see history? A completely perfect GP record.
You know, I have the feeling that it's just Jeremy's weekend, and I think he is going to take this thing down. But David is not going to make it easy. I've got a chance to take a look at his deck list, and it's very solid. I would call it a very solid list, very capable of taking down this match as well. I just have a gut feeling.
I think his deck is pretty scary.
Yeah, it is.
Stroud's.
It is.
Because he has so much reach. He has triple Thunderbolt.
Yes.
He has Thunderous Wrath.
Yes.
He just has ways to go, what are you on? 11. 4. 4. Untap.
Yep.
4. Good game.
I think we're going to see a hand where Lancer come down, pair up, and attack. Whoa, get that thing out of the way. All right, so this is a 3-1 first strike with trample. So Jeremy's got to decide if he wants to use one of his Undying triggers to save paltry 1 life. Mm-hmm. And he does. Block, take 2, go to 18. Jeremy's life gain is probably going to come in quite handy here. I mean, you were just mentioning that David has this reach ability, but each of those that we were talking about, Thunderbolts and those are costing him cards out of his hand. Mm. If he tries to craft a game plan where he can finish off with, like, let's say a couple of Thunderbolts, and Jeremy has a 4 life gain swing in between, that is going to put a huge crimp in David's plan. And, and often plans like that require suiciding guys in. You know, getting in there, and don't mind if your guy gets eaten because you have a strict game plan.
Yeah, I don't think David's guys are particularly exciting, with a couple of notable exceptions.
Like these ones that we have here are very exciting so far.
Archwing Dragon is in David's deck.
Wow, that's another solid finisher. All right, so we're going to see a Righteous Blow come down upon the poor Kruin Striker. Now this is, we had a pre-combat Trusted Force Mage.
Yeah.
Now, he did that to trigger...
Oh, okay. Snare the Skies?
It was Snare the Skies. So we have Snare the Skies to take out the Butcher Ghoul, but the reason why he played it first was so that he could get a trigger on the Kruin Striker.
Yep.
I mean, normally you'd want to wait to see if something died and then pair up with your Force Mage, but in this case it makes perfect sense. All right, so get in for 2. And are we going to see a first Driver of the Dead? No, it's a Midvast Protector. Give this protection from nothing and pass the turn back. All right, so a 2-3 on the ground is going to do a pretty decent amount of work. Depending on what happens here, something can get paired up. Is this a Druid's Familiar? No.
It's a Mad Prophet.
It is a Mad Prophet, and those are paired up, and he's going to attack with both. This is a lot of heat. Wow, Rich, you definitely called this. This is a ton of pressure. Jeremy's already at 12, even though he's like cast stuff every turn. It's not like he's doing nothing.
And they're all reasonable.
Yes.
Butcher Ghoul. Righteous Blow.
Yep.
A Geist, a Midvast Protector. They're not hideous.
No. I see a Voice of the Provinces in Jeremy's hand here. And it looks like Jeremy's content to just get in here with his Moonlight Geist, because he's got a 6-drop with the Voice to play. Now, David is probably a little relieved that it was just the Voice. The Voice on 6 is a reasonable play, but it's certainly not that exciting.
Yeah.
Now,
it's about as bearable as you can get when your opponent taps 6.
Exactly. Now, if it was a Gold Knight Redeemer, things would be a lot different. You know, now we're talking about a life gain of 4, a 4/4 that can sit out there.
But now, if the Gold Knight Redeemer comes, Jeremy's at 20.
Yes. All right, so it looks like discard first is how that works. That is not looting. It's very similar. All right, so it looks like David's flooding a little bit. He's got a couple too many lands for his liking,
and he's drawn into a land as well off the discard a land, draw a land. It turns out drew a forest off the Mad Prophet.
Oh, okay. Is this a Nettle Swine? What is this? It is a Nettle Swine.
Yep.
And he's going to give it first strike. That seems quite relevant here. Leaving one red up, I don't know why you would do that. I think you'd just rather leave the green up to represent one of the 2 pump spells. There's no instant speed things in red that affect the board.
Okay.
And if he does have a... Oh, okay, he's got another land, that's why. I don't know if I would have played that land. I think, throwing it away to the Mad Prophet probably, I mean, he's got 5. Like, I guess he could have 6 drops in his deck, but you might as well wait till you get one. Managing your loot abilities is a very, very sensitive, tricky thing. So Jeremy looks like he just wants to swing in for 3. I guess the plan then is to just leave the Moonlight Guys back to block and activate its ability.
Yeah, Jeremy's got 2 cards. We saw that one of them at least is a swamp.
Right. Alright, let's see what comes off the top for David. It's not a miracle. It's not one that he wanted to play. Is it a Guise of Fire? No. Oh, this is your Archwing Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4/4 flying haste. He's got 2 3/3 attackers. He's got a 4/3 first strike and a 2/2 first strike. So he has just a ton of power. But one thing that we have to note here, he's just going to send everybody in. I like this guy's style. That's just get him in there. Now David is at 11. So he does have to start considering the race situation here. But being the one to swing now is critical, and it's going to force way too much pressure. I mean, right now we're looking at 4, 5, 6. Plus 6 is 12. Plus 4 is 16 damage coming in at Jeremy, and it's coming right now. Haste from the Mad Prophet, plus parrying, and then haste from the Dragon just means that Jeremy's just on his heels. He's just straight up now in a very, very bad spot. Now, he does have 6 mana untapped with 1 relevant card potentially in hand, and he also has the Moonlight Guys, which can block something and kind of act as a little Maze of Ith effect type thing where it's like, no, that doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, I mean, potentially, if he has Deathwind, if Deathwind is the one relevant card he has in hand, then he has the possibility to do good things with unpairing.
Yes.
That Midvast Protector.
I mean, he is hinting at that right now, isn't he?
Right, yeah, that's what I'm wondering about, whether there's an element of...
Oh, that's a great call.
That. Well, I mean, he may not have it, but I mean...
Sure, I'm just saying, like, if he can take out the
Metal
Swarm...
No, he hasn't. He's just got 2 swamps.
2 swamps.
I'm right. That is a swamp at the back, correct?
You're correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess the Midvast Protector is going to chump something with 3 power instead of something with 4 power. Or excuse me, with 2 power. Or it's not chumping. Okay, it is still just a 2/2. Sorry, I remember it has first strike. I thought for some reason it was pumped. It's not. So the Midvast Protector is looking to just eat the first striker, and it looks like David says, okay, like, if that happens, you're going to take a bunch of damage in the process.
And a real bunch. I mean,
like right now that equals
through,
10.
profits through.
Yeah, that equals 10 damage if that's the case, putting Jeremy to 2, and it is.
And
he reveals it, and that's game 1.
You see?
Maybe we should have been watching David Stroud all weekend.
Well, I watched his semi-final.
I mean, he very confidently just ran over Jeremy Schofield in game 1 there. That was a beating.
Yep.
Is that what his other games were like?
He is... It's quite interesting because although I interviewed Jeremy at length up here, I haven't watched him play any Magic live up close. It is extraordinary to me how the word that sprung to mind, and maybe it's inappropriate, but I will go with it anyway. It struck me that he was a beast at the table, by which I mean such an alpha male. He utterly dominated the table. Now, Marston Succinct is a pretty decent player. And canny would be a good word, and cunning as a player.
Okay.
But, the crispness with which Jeremy's just like, yep, combat, studying place 14, yep, in, these 2 in, you're at 9, 5, this, your turn. It's utterly his table.
Really? Interesting.
So then I go across to the other match. And what's interesting there is that there's a similar vibe going on with David Stroud in the Jeremy Schofield role. But the difference is that David Stroud is off the leash because he won his quarterfinal. He's on an adrenaline high of winning the quarters. And I actually heard him say out loud in the warm-up to the semifinals. Not word for word, but I just don't care. You can call me anything you like. I'll do anything because I'm going to the Pro Tour, baby.
Yeah.
Was the gist.
And he's a local Pacific Northwesterner, so he gets to go to a home Pro Tour.
Okay, so he is just playing on. Hey, look, I'm still playing Magic. How awesome's this? And therefore, he is this deadly dangerous opponent who is almost kind of shrugging and going, hit you? What do you want? 14. 10, 8, 3, dead.
Yep.
Good game. Off you go.
Yeah, I mean, that was the vibe I got watching them the first game there. He's just, just turning his guys in there.
And they both are. I mean, there's no way this final goes long, even if it's 2 more complicated games.
Yeah, I mean, really. and that's a big advantage, really, for David, right? Like, being completely stress-free, he doesn't have pressure, he feels like, I'm on a free roll now, I'm just getting in there, man down.
Yeah, you'll want to pick that card up, that's quite important.
Yeah, and that one. Yep. Looks like the judge got one of them. Yeah, and I have to say that having that level of relief and just saying look, what happens, I'm going to play my best and it's all good is such a much better approach to come from. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on in Jeremy's head, but if David just feels like he's just there's Jeremy, he looks pretty comfortable. I mean, he looks a little nervous, but
okay.
You see him in his face-to-face games, mana deprived shirt there. He looks pretty sharp.
Now listen, you and I, we trade in the business of storytelling. There's a story here. Jeremy Schofield, perfection.
Yes.
Here's another one. The last Grand Prix was in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Paul Rietzl had 1 defeat on the weekend.
Yes.
It was the final.
It was.
Jeremy Schofield is 1 game away from losing 1 match on the weekend.
That's true.
And it's the final.
Yeah. History repeats itself? I'm going to find out right now.
Find out what?
If history's going to repeat itself.
Thank you.
I always fall for it, too. You're so happy. You're so happy with yourself right now.
I think that just made Rashad's weekend.
Yeah, he's still laughing.
Schofield, game 2. Swamp plays Mountain. If you're Schofield, you are so protective of your life right now.
Yes, Blood Artist is also good at protecting people's life total, and we're going to see a Scalding Devil come down for David Stroud. Not exactly an ideal opener.
But a little bit more reach. Again, just yet more points of damage that don't have to interact on the table.
True. All right, so we're going to see Emancipation Angel come down, pick up the Blood Artist. He doesn't want to get behind on land drop, so he's just going to take a tempo hit as far as mana spent goes.
Now, we know that Emancipation Angel is very unlikely to live long, given that there's triple Thunderbolt in Stroud's, not hand, but in the deck. And should Stroud want to change the race, he will probably have a good chance to do so.
Yep.
So it's highly unlikely Jeremy is planning on getting too many hits in with that. He's probably thinking of it in some ways as life.
Ooh, Riders of Gavany naming human probably still. I mean, there's a devil out, but it doesn't really do much here. That's going to be a big one. Thunderbolt does not hit that card. All right, 4th land for David, and he just says go.
He has Wolfir Avenger.
Oh, he does have a Wolfir Avenger in his deck?
I think.
He does.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I've seen it, so that's definitely a strong possibility here as we see.
Spectral Gate Guards, let's pair them up.
Oh, man, this could be, well, all right, Wolfir Avenger does come down. It's going to activate. So one of the things about the Tomb, the Angel's Tomb, is that it doesn't block very often. It's going to block this time, though. So is David happy to just trade off these two? He is. It is so hard to get that Riders of Gavany off the table, and he did it.
Found the way.
Yeah. I mean, he would have liked to have been 1 turn later so that he could regenerate as well, but he didn't want to be greedy. He's just like, get this thing out of here. All right, I do see a Thunderbolt, by the way, in his hand.
Sure.
And Hanwer Lancer, probably not even going to pair him up. Yeah. He's still got a lot of work to do to get rid of that Spectral Gate Guards. Now, as long as there's no other creature paired with it, it does not have Vigilance. So we're going to see if Jeremy's going to main phase, first main phase a creature so he can get in with his gate cards here.
He's got a Bloodflow Connoisseur. We know, of course, he has Blood Artist in hand from right at the start of the game, which got returned via Emancipation Angel.
Right. So this happened. Now it's going to pair up. So when he leaves his main phase, David can Thunderbolt it, and that way he doesn't get to get in with Vigilance, but it looks like he's opted not to do that. And there's another creature, it's the Blood Artist that we saw before. It's probably why he knew the Blood Artist would just come down. And now he's just going to take that thing out. I'd make him do it myself, but... Because I think that having the Blood Artist paired is much better for him. If David would have been a little more astute there, he could have had... Ooh, there's a little bit of damage.
Kissing Malcontents.
Do 2 to you.
Pair him up.
But he could have forced Jeremy to either not attack that turn at all, or to pair up with a really subpar card there with the Blood Artist. You don't want that to have vigilance. It doesn't do anything.
Jeremy took how much damage there?
Should have been 2.
Right. So why is he at 18? Did he not gain a life from the Moonlight Geist dying? Did that not happen?
That might not have happened. That should have happened. Oh no!
No,
it wasn't down yet.
Ah, right, okay.
It wasn't down. Remember, it got bounced back to his hand. So it was still in his hand when that happened.
Oh, it was in response to the Blood Artist coming back down?
He must have said that.
Fine.
He must have said,
okay,
you're casting it, I'm going to kill that,
yeah,
instead of end step.
Yep.
Is this a Guise of Fire? It is. He's going to play it. Yeah, so again, the Bloodflow Connoisseur just makes things so weird, because you like, he'd probably rather just kill the Blood Artist, but you can't. Because all it does is just, I mean, it does kill it, but long term,
so Jeremy's looking in, and he's just going to put his Connoisseur in the bin.
You lose 1, I gain 1.
Yeah. 1814, a very good year.
A Farbog Explorer comes down.
Pairing up.
It pairs up, but it's not actually going to be able to get in effectively unless David's splashing for black, which he's not. And pass the turn back. So we have a board stall, a good old-fashioned board stall here.
Yeah, but we kind of don't, because I know this sounds dramatic, given that Jeremy is at 17.
Yeah.
But
so
there is
2 damage to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a proper clock here that is probably, to my mind, only about 3 turns long, because once you get Jeremy to like 11, then you're into range of all that burn.
Oh, like if his hand is like...
If he's gradually getting that burn, Jeremy cannot spend the next 6 turns going, oh, it's all fine, we're creating a board store.
I see what you're saying. I mean, that's a very long-term look at it, but it is relevant.
It's not that long. Look, he's at 13 now.
Yeah, but I mean, 11 isn't in range of those.
Fine.
But like 7? Now you got my attention. And he did hit it, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So he can now just lightning bolt him every turn.
All right.
Yeah, now you're talking. Yeah.
Fine.
10, 7, and things are getting ugly.
And then here's a Thunderbolt and a Thunderous Wrath off the top. Burn you to a crisp.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. This board state currently is now, like, especially having hit those next lands, is extremely weighted in David's favor.
Here's Heirs of Stromkirk.
Okay, so Heirs of Stromkirk is going to have Intimidate. It can get in. I think I just would have sat there. I think I just would have said, lightning bolt you, lightning bolt you, lightning bolt you, and just make me,
make you find an answer to being lightning bolt.
I mean, this is a little quicker.
Searing Devil is, of course, a little bit vulnerable, as we say in the trade.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah,
so
maybe it is better.
It will go.
I mean, it only took away 1 damage this turn anyway, and it's going to be 2 next turn. Okay. So assuming that there's not like Terminuses in play or something, that play is actually
right now
get more damage.
Jeremy's virtually at 5.
Because of next turn he's going to get
because
attacked.
It's 2
and then
to
3,
8, untapped, 3, 5.
That's
down
2.
To 5.
He's going to do 2 now. That puts
him to 8.
And then next turn it's 3 plus 2 is 5.
Oh,
so
he's
going to put him to 2. Yeah, so
there is. Yeah.
I mean, there are things like Righteous Blow that can get in the way, but I think that Jeremy just has like a shade in his hand.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. So he's going to start attacking because he needs Blood Artist triggers. He doesn't have a choice. Like David might. Okay, he did end up blocking. I mean, he could consider just taking it. Like. So
Spectral Gate Guards die.
Trigger.
Jeremy gets up a little.
I mean, okay, so there's the shade.
Yeah.
But Jeremy has to be careful because he gets a few triggers, but he's just throwing away his creatures, and David might just attack him. like play a Fervent Cathar or something, and get in there and just kill him. So.
Jeremy at 9. In comes the heirs. Yes, take it. Jeremy at 7.
Jeremy is now at
Which is
7. The
functionally
heirs is getting
won.
counter. Yeah. This Jeremy has to find a way to gain some life, to have some of his creatures die. Something has to happen here to keep him alive, or on the next turn, David's going to kill him.
David Stroud's going to win this GP.
Yeah.
With a Searing Devil doing almost everything.
Yes. Scalding indeed. He looks pretty comfortable.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yes. I probably wouldn't be comfortable, honestly.
No.
I'd be like, I know he's going to rip blank that I don't want him to rip, and I'm going to have to do this the hard way.
But maybe that's why you get to talk about it and he gets to be there.
Fair enough.
Then again, maybe that's why you have hair. There is the undefeated Jeremy Schofield. But there is the man who is one turn away from a Grand Prix title, we
That's
think.
funny. I think if you showed me that picture, I wouldn't have thought he is one turn away. Let's see what Jeremy
Schofield
drew.
draws.
This
It is
a huge draw step.
It's a spell.
I couldn't see what it was.
No. Oh, that all adds to the fun.
Yes. David Stroud is on the verge of winning this Grand Prix. It is really all on Jeremy Schofield to prevent that from happening. He can make some attacks here, which he would gain a few points of life back. But if his
Yeah.
geyser turns sideways, he can't kill David.
He wanted Gold Knight Redeemer.
Yes, that would have been
That was
fantastic.
the top draw.
Yes. All right, he's going to send in his 2 Undying guys, but David could just take it. It's 1,
Can
2,
he?
3, 4, 5, 6. It would be 6 damage. So, Essence Harvest or whatever it's called. I mean, there's not a whole lot of things, but it looks like he's going to just say, "Okay, I'm not going to take that big hit," and I agree with that.
Now, Jeremy surely wants his
I don't
Ebonite
think
Shade
he wants to
die.
pump that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get my guy dead.
Yeah, it might be a turn of difference here. So there's 2 creatures that die here. And this guy comes back. So it's David 7. David 6 and
Yes.
Jeremy's at 9.
Yeah, because he took 1 from the Butcher Ghoul
Uh-huh.
and then the 2 from the life trade.
I think I might have put my first strikers in front. I don't know. I guess, can he make
9
it big enough to
plays 6.
kill them all of them? Oh, it is a life
Angel
gain
Sanctifier.
spell. Oh my goodness. So now, hit you for
And then thingy for
3, I think it was.
okay. Looked like on the life totals it was only 2.
Oh, it was only 2. Okay. Trusted
Trusted
Force Mage, pair it up, hit you.
But we're back again at one away.
1,
Jeremy, we're
2,
Jeremy up to 16.
and it is 2 again. How did Jeremy get
How
to
did-
16? That's not right.
No.
I think he's at 6.
Yeah. Yes, Jeremy's not at 16.
Yeah, that does not look right.
Don't have heart failure. 6
Okay, so
each.
Jeremy's at 6,
And he is
David's
once again dead
also
next to-
at 6. But this Blood Artist is just wreaking havoc on this board, because if David screws up blocks and a couple of guys get in and there's a bunch of triggers, and we see them all just ship in here.
In. What a game!
Wow, now David is faced with this pretty tough decision here. He's got to look at this entire board. He's got to make sure that he comes out of this without being dead from Blood Artist triggers and is still alive long enough to get him.
This is where you want to stop the game, take a picture, and then write the article about. So let's look at this situation.
Jeez. Okay. I can't tell if he's still thinking or if he's not.
I'm pretty sure he's thinking, because I watched him in the semi-final do this. He put things in the way and they went, this isn't final. I'm just going to have a little think about whether I really think
Okay,
this.
so he's one of the guys that kind of likes to visualize.
Yeah, I'll play it out and then
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I'm done.
I
think that's where we are.
Yeah.
If I do that, no, wait, that's bad. If we do that, the Farbog Explorer trades with Kessig Malcontents.
See,
The Handwheel Lancer dice, that's a third thing that dies. Cathedral Sanctified dice, that's a fourth thing that dies. 4 things die. Butcher Ghoul gets through for 1.
that would put David at
I
1.
believe that puts David to 1 and
mean-
Jeremy up to 10. If that happens, there's still 2 activations of the Scalding Devil available.
That's 8.
The Heirs of Stromkirk are still
7,
alive.
6, 5, 4.
The Trusted Force Mage is still alive.
3.
Paired with the
3,
Heirs
and
of-
then
Heirs
activate
of-
it 3 times and kill him. If the way that you've broken it down is true, then that will work.
That's my little hypothetical how to be
Yeah.
David Stroud.
This is he looks pretty relaxed, but I would be super stressed. You don't want to screw this one up. That blood artist has had such a profound effect on this game. He's still thinking, and he should, you know, I think taking your time here is very appropriate.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, there's cards like Zealous Strike he's probably considering right now.
He's like, oh, I mean, if you got something.
But he's in a really weird spot. He has to block such that he actually doesn't kill his opponent's creatures. Like, he doesn't want to trade.
Oh. So, pump time in the land of Evernight Shade.
Do we know what Jeremy's last card is? I don't know what it is.
I don't think we know.
Seems relevant.
Huh. Oh, wait, they were paired, weren't they? So
They have first strike.
Yeah, which meant that the Kessel Malcontents does not die in my scenario, which I had in my math.
Okay. Which is one to the better for David. Then.
7-5, yes. 7-5.
7's
Points are plenty
right now, but there's still blocks happening and deaths happening here. So it looks like 2 more creatures are going to die, bringing David to 2 and Jeremy up to 9. If that's the case, and if Jeremy has nothing, which he has
Voice of the Provinces.
Voice of the Provinces.
That's 2 more guys. They're not allowed to die.
He cannot just arbitrarily kill them. He's going to attack for 2, 3, 4 for 5.
So David's answer, it's going to be Thunderous Wrath off the top. Damage, Thunderous Wrath off the top.
Yeah. Congratulations.
No, is that...
Oh, he did have the kill on the board, so he was going to attack for 5, 6,
he had it.
7, 8, 9. I guess he just had it on the board. I thought he could only do 8, but it looks like he could do 9. So David Stroud, very casually, takes down the GP.
Your Grand Prix Vancouver champion.
Good for him. Congratulations to David Stroud. Look at him. Okay,
and
now we
Jeremy Schofield, congratulations to him. An amazing run.
Fantastic
and only
run by
his second
Jeremy.
ever Grand Prix.
You have an accomplishment.
Phenomenal job. And
they congratulate each other,
yeah,
and rightfully so.
And
that
see
was
you at the Pro Tour.
And see you in Seattle as well, yeah. Wow, Grand Prix champion David Stroud. Look
David
at that.
Stroud gets there.
Steve Satan had it right. He knew.
Took out Colin Miller in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we're gonna get David
Steve
Stroud in the
Regan
booth.